We think the NBA saved the All-Star game. We're not 100% sure. All-Star weekend still has a couple of things that we need to figure out. Me and KD talk about the All-Star game format, world versus the USA, what we like, what we don't like. Plus, KD's got burners. Not this KD. Kevin Durant has burners that he's being allegedly tied to that are saying stuff about old teammates, about coaches, about a whole bunch of stuff. So we see why KD is going scorched earth on all of his guys, and we get to our picks for the halfway point champion. Looking forward to June in the NBA Finals. Me and KD select who we think is going to be trying to reach for the Larry O in June. Make sure to rate, subscribe, review wherever it is that you're watching us. If you're listening to the podcast on Spotify, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you click the subscribe button wherever it is. 2.8K followers and growing. We appreciate all of those people that have clicked subscribe. Make sure that you click the notification button so when we do have a new video or new content, you guys can go watch and consume that. Please share that wherever you can so more people can get to learn about the crossover. So with all that said, that was a mouthful. Let's start the show. KD, I'm going to give you the option.
Okay, talk to me.
Do we want to talk about the All-Star game?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to talk about burners, social media burners? Do we want to talk about that?
Sure.
What do you want to go with first?
Let's go with the All-Star game.
Okay,
first.
all right. We'll start off with a softball.
Yeah.
All right. Did the NBA fix the All-Star game?
I think the All-Star game was extremely competitive. I like the round robin style of it. I like the way they broke the teams up. I think the guys played hard. They played together. It looked like good basketball. It didn't just look like an All-Star game. It looked like there was a competitive edge. So I think they did a good job. I think they nailed it.
It just felt like they were scrambling for so long, them being the NBA, scrambling for so long to find a way to make the All-Star game, again, competitive, but also interesting, right? And we saw for so long just rolling the ball out there and playing East versus West or pick your teams or whatever. Like, they tried all this stuff against the wall. They've thrown it against the wall to see if it sticks. And it feels like this one may have stuck, even if it's just for a little bit, for a couple of seasons. Like, this format felt like it's stuck in a way that other ones in the past haven't.
Yeah.
And my only complaint was, man, they started so early. And obviously because they have, multiple games, round robin style in the tournament and all this stuff. But I'm usually used to like the 7:30, 8 o'clock prime time ABC where we're going to watch it. We got the All-Star game going on. I felt the same way with the All-Star Saturday night where by 8:30, it was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened to everything? Yeah. So like my complaint was the timing. I felt like there needed to be more of like a main card, event feel to it in a way that it didn't have.
I feel you. I think, just back to my original point, Tone, I think the players set the tone, right? I think this younger generation, they appreciate the moment. I think, breaking the teams up, like there was some pride that the old school had. There was some pride that the young guys had. There was some pride that the international players had as well. And the players set the tone. Big fellow, Big Victor, initially, he set the tone. He wanted to come and, show that, like, we're going to compete.
We're about that today,
Yep. So I really tip my hat to the young guys, man. They really showed up and showed out.
Kawhi set the tone, too.
Kawhi did his thing.
Kawhi's been on an absolute tear.
Yeah.
He's been playing really good basketball. Obviously, that last game, I felt like they just kind of ran out of gas. Like, when you have, in a 12-minute quarter, you got 31 points like Kawhi had, and your team has 48.
That's a lot.
You're like, I'm good.
On that stage.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
It was dope, man. Kawhi's always been one of those guys, man, who, just has been the consummate pro. Is a two-way player. He likes moments like that. Obviously, he's had injuries and things like that. But, man, like when he's healthy and he's playing Kawhi Leonard basketball, he's one of the best players on the planet.
And he's not super flashy.
No.
Because you start watching the game, and you're like, oh, okay, he's got a couple points here, a couple points there. And then all of a sudden you look at stat sheet, he's got 31 in the court. You're like, wait a second, what happened?
Yeah.
But he's just a constant drumbeat of excellence.
Yeah.
Just doof,
He
every
is.
single time. Kind of crazy to think that may be the last time we see Braun out there.
Yeah, it's quite possible. But the choice is really on him. If he's playing basketball, he usually plays it at a high level. But it's very possible that this could be LeBron's last
Because,
All-Star.
if it weren't for a couple of injuries, he wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just because he got a slow start to the season, it took him a little bit to try, get things online and really playing well. And it just felt like looking him out there, wasn't really running back a ton on defense. And I was like, damn, Bron is out, like really out here at 41 years old.
Yeah.
And for me, it was more so a thing of like, I can't believe how much time has passed with LeBron in our lives watching it. Like when he got into the league, I was 12 years old. And now all of a sudden I sit here as a 34-year-old man, remembering all of those years of hoops and like my journey into playing basketball and then leaving that and then like starting a media career and then talking about basketball. It's like he's been through the entirety of that season of my life. So it's kind of crazy thinking back and being like, this is what my dad must have felt like watching Larry and Magic and Michael and like that generation of guys that were so good just poof, disappear. And you always have to wait for that next generation, but you never think that the generation that you're a part of is ever going to end until it does.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, if I didn't have these grays and this receding hairline, internally I would still feel pretty young. But, man, Father Time is undefeated. LeBron has put in a lot of work in our game. He's championed the game. The game has grown under his watch. He's impacted and had a great influence on a lot of people. Do you think
he's impacted the dunk contest negatively, though?
No.
There's been a lot of conversation about that online. There's been a lot of discourse that since he kind of ducked the dunk contest for so long, the amount of guys that were great superstars also took his lead and were like, yeah, we're not going to do it. So you see the names that were on. We didn't really know basically almost all of them outside of Kashad Johnson, who's a hometown kid for the Heat, who ended up winning, by the way. Shout out to him. Remy called it too. Remy's like
Remy called it.
Like he's got bunnies. Like he's gonna win this thing. Should have put a little money on that, but you got the kid from the Lakers that did like a regular dunk.
Yeah,
I see. You could have done that.
I saw him East Bay in the game. I don't know, like maybe he didn't count his steps right or something like that. But it was very.
I saw Jace Richardson hit his head off the
that
floor
was a blooper.
too.
That was a blooper. Yeah, that was a blooper. But no, I'm not gonna blame LeBron for the dunk contest. I think a lot of All-Star players have taken that approach. Usually they get in when they're younger. Vince did it one time. Kobe did it one time as well.
Michael did it.
Yeah, Mike. The game was different back then. Those dunk contests back in those days
were everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it had more of an impact, right?
But where did we lose that? Like, that's my history question to the class. And if you have the answer, let us know in the comments down on YouTube. But at what point in the dunk contest history did we stop putting the marquee guys on there that were generational faces of the NBA?
I'm not sure. I don't know when we lost it because, like, even in that time, like, we had great dunkers who weren't all-star and superstar players. Like, Jason Richardson was a hell of a dunker. Zach LaVine, hell of a dunker. Aaron Gordon, a hell of a dunker. There's been guys in between there. It's guys like Harold Miner back in the days and Kenny Skywalker. They weren't like superstar players, but they could really dunk the basketball. I think that it's just we've seen too many dunks now, so we're a little desensitized to it.
Damn.
I don't believe that the best dunkers in the world are in the NBA.
Yeah,
there's actually professional dunkers that's what they do. And so I just don't feel like, you can judge players off just the dunk contest. Some guys are just like in-game dunkers. They're not like dunk contest dunkers. And what else new can you do? It's all been done before.
That is true.
We're desensitized to it.
That is true. Like, unless you're pushing the limits of the human body,
yeah,
there's really nothing. But it feels like sports across the industry, we're at that point now. We're like, we've seen everything that there is to see. You have to really wow us. You have to really do something that pushes past the human limit of what we've seen to like register on our brains now. Like, you have to watch Josh Allen throw an 80-yard pass in the air on a Hail Mary to be like, oh wow, like that's incredible. Yeah. Or Lamar go back there and make a move, juke, and then run 75 yards in the span of 15 yards to get a touchdown. You're like, holy shit, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Like,
that's where we are. We have so much tolerance to incredible and amazing that now everything is just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, it's a gift and a curse, man. It's the age of information. It's the age of content.
We know too much, KD.
We see it. We see too much, bro. We see too much.
Like, Steph Curry doing what he does is normal. It's commonplace now.
Yeah.
If you would have dropped him into the 80s, who is Steph Curry if you drop him into the 80s?
Oh, man. I mean,
they changed the logo.
Yeah.
They take Jerry West out the logo and they put Steph Curry there.
Well, you know what? I don't think Steph would have been able to run off threes in the 80s, in the 90s, the way he is now. I have to stop you right there.
You got to stop me? Okay.
Right, because like there was hand checking. There was a time where Steph played in the league where you could touch a little bit and things like that, and he wasn't yet that Steph
Developed,
Curry.
right, yep.
I think the rule change really, benefited him. The pace and what's considered a great shot and like his prime all hit at a perfect time for him. Like it would be very difficult to get 10 threes off in a game where you got to bring the ball up against a bent elbow or a hand check.
Let's shoot from half court.
With somebody on your body, usually you're going to have the back turn. You're going to be bringing it up like Mark Jackson or Magic Johnson.
Gary Payton style.
You're going to be bringing it up, because the rules were different. But not to minimize Steph, but I just think it would be more difficult to, shoot the ball and score the way that they do now.
If you could change anything about All-Star Saturday night, the dunk contest, the three-point contest, Damian Lillard came out with a torn Achilles and won the three-point contest.
Same time.
What would you change? Would you change anything, or would you have something that...
No, I wouldn't change anything. It's been a staple. It's really not just about, like, the now. It's about the history of the game and the future of the game. So those events are very entertaining for our fans to see us in that light. So what I would like to do is I would like to see more talented dunkers, more household names in the dunk contest. I know they all make a lot of money now, but it's something about, like, forget the money. It's about legacy. It's about pushing the next generation forward. It's about entertainment. It's about building the brand. And I just wish they would, take more pride in that because, like, you stand on the shoulders of the people who came before you.
Right.
And I just think that they do an injustice to themselves, the game, when they don't put themselves out there out of fear of losing. It's not losing. It's going out. It's entertainment.
Right. It's
Go
having
out
fun.
and compete.
Yeah, fear of losing. I feel like that's why LeBron never ended up doing that. And again, I'm speaking on my own. This has nothing to do with anybody. Like this is stuff that I've seen where you got to go out there and to be great, sometimes you got to lose a little bit, right? Like that pushes you, right? If the big three would have just won that first series in Dallas, right? Who knows where they would have been further down the line, right? But they needed that first L in the NBA Finals to then propel them to push to what they ended up becoming. But you always need those nicks and bruises and cuts along the way. And it just felt like LeBron never really wanted to put his ego on the line, didn't want to put his face of the league on the line to maybe lose to a lesser player. I feel like that's the reason why he never ended up doing it.
I feel you. I can understand that position. I just think that LeBron is more of an in-game dunker. Like, he's not a dunk contest guy, right? The last dunk contest I saw him in maybe was, the McDonald's game? And
you're talking about 20 years ago, 25 years ago almost.
But he put on a show, but it wasn't like creativity. It was just power and athleticism. So some guys just have that creative gene, and I don't think LeBron's dunking style is really like Vince Carter, conducive to slam dunk contest.
Right. So if you're projecting forward in the next 3-4 years, do you feel like they're going to continue the USA versus the world format, or are we going to see something else kind of?
We may. I believe that.
What would you like to see? You like what we got going on now?
Not necessarily. I like the competition element of it, and it's a shame that they have to, kind of trick the guys to go out and kind
play
of
hard.
and champion the game, right? Imagine if, Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, if those guys didn't step up, All-Star Weekend or, 92 with the Dream Team, like they wouldn't have inspired a generation, generations behind them. And I think these guys are leaving a lot of their legacy and their opportunity to grow the game and capture those moments on the table. I don't like it personally. I would love to just see guys compete East versus West and go out and play and be competitive.
We were at the halfway point of the NBA season, looking forward to the back half of the season. Now we're going to start seeing a lot of teams with the dreaded 4-letter word tank.
Yeah.
KD gets input. Adam Silver's gone. They put KD as commissioner of the NBA. How do you fix tanking? Because there's a big issue right now. The Kings are rolling out awful lineups, the Jazz, the Wizards. Like, there's a lot of teams that have a lot to gain from being bad, right? How do you fix the tanking issue in the NBA?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to how you fix tanking, but I also know that, like, you have to recalibrate sometimes when you're trying to take another step forward. So I understand that teams, want to put themselves in the best position to get the best players, the best talent available. And sometimes that means, you have to,
skirt the rules a little bit.
But like you can't, I don't know. It's hard to put rules on parity because they wanted parity. That's why we have so many champions. You have caps, super cap. They have all these different mechanics that they put in. At some point in time, it's just it's about the fans. What product are you putting out there for the fans?
If you're taking the Kings to any town outside of Sacramento, even in Sacramento, they don't Zach LaVine out, Russell Westbrook out, Monk out, everybody out, and you're rolling out a G League team. Nobody wants to see that product.
No.
If you're coming to South Beach with that team, nobody's going to the game because nobody knows who anybody is, right? And that's the issue for me where you start looking, all right, is it, and they've had all these conversations and All-Star game, All-Star weekend is usually a good time for people to ask Adam Silver about a lot of these questions. They're talking about maybe a tournament of bad teams where if you win, then all of a sudden you get the better pick. They're talking about eliminating the rookie draft and creating another system in which by these teams get rookies, right? Which would be an interesting thing because the draft feels, I'm not a huge fan of the draft. Let's just say that way. You get told where you're going to live and work. That's the only industry in the world, the sports, where they tell you, hey, you're the best at what you do. Guess what? You're going to go to a team that you probably don't want to live in their city, and you are probably going to a bad team that has tough infrastructure situations, and that's why they're bad, right? Every other industry in the world, you get to choose where you live. You get to choose how you do X, Y, and Z, right? If you're a great person in tech, hey, I'm going to live in New York. I'm going to live in LA. I'm going to live in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley. I'm going to live in Miami, whatever. In the NBA, it's you're great, perfect. You're going to Sacramento.
Yeah.
See you in Milwaukee, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have fun in Utah.
I get nervous about when they say they want to, adjust the draft. Historically, the draft is an opportunity, for guys to get that moment that they may have dreamed about. So you want to be able to experience hearing your name called. Obviously, depending on what pick you go, there's always there's a scale what you can make. So it would ultimately make everyone a free agent. And I think you have to be careful with that because now you're talking about the college game and how that could be impacted, right? So it's a little bit different. I don't know. Adam is a brilliant man, so I'm confident that he'll come up with the right system. But look, man, I still think the game is so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talk like the sky is falling. No, our game is still really good. It's healthy. It's vibrant. It's exciting to watch. We talk about it all the time. So I don't think you have to tweak everything. You can't tweak everything to try and make it a utopian league. You just have to have the human element. You have to have the historical context. And I just think some things you have to just leave be.
Yeah. I just argue it from a product perspective where you look at exactly what's going on. You're like, damn, about a third of the league is just out. Right? They just have nothing to play for. There's no reason for them to put a good product out on the court. And I've heard other things floated of maybe at a certain point in the NBA calendar, wins count towards your lottery odds. So how instead of losses counting, now wins count. Yeah. So now all of a sudden you're putting out a good team.
Now that's a nice tweak.
Now it's not something huge that you have to go play an extra tournament for. You're abolishing the rookie draft. You're doing all these different things, but we just flip it. Hey, all of a sudden Pelicans, you guys are terrible. You're 15-40, whatever. Every win that you have now, all of a sudden counts for your lottery odds, even though you don't have your pick because you traded it to Atlanta for Derek Queen. But
it'll be interesting, my friend.
All of a sudden it's all right, now we strung together, 10 wins out of the last month and a half.
Right.
All of a sudden we got some decent odds to maybe get a pick in a rookie class that's looking incredible.
Yeah.
And now, as we start churning toward March, we'll get into our March Madness situation. Maybe we do a couple brackets, start talking a little college hoops because this draft class looks to be crazy.
Yeah. The smaller markets, if they wanted to go away from the draft, the smaller markets will really struggle.
They're done.
Yeah, because guys will be able to kind of choose where they go, and then what will their pay scale be, right? How can you differentiate?
Yeah, I want to go play in New York.
The number one pick and the 50th pick.
Right.
It's.
There's a lot of smarter people working on it than us.
Yeah,
we could just talk about it and say our opinion.
What happens.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see
but
what happens.
Something's got to fix it because that is one of the things in the NBA. It's man, if we could fix that. the entire calendar would be like really set up for us to watch some good basketball. Just that little tweak. But I get what you're saying. You can't tweak everything.
Yeah.
Because then if you tweak everything, what do you have?
What do you have?
You have a completely different situation.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to what I wanted to lead the show with today, but you picked All-Star Game.
Okay.
Over the weekend and during the All-Star Game, Kevin Durant had another burner gate. He's back on Twitter, back on X with more burners. This time talking mess about teammates, about coaches. Can I indulge you and read you some of the things that came out from KD's Twitter where he's DMing people that I guess are, talking to him or replying or whatever, and he's going to their personal,
right?
Allegedly. But again, that's been kind of everything that the momentum online has been that this is KD. So I'm just gonna give you one guy broke it down with a couple different things here. So one of them, he said the Rockets franchise player Alperen Şengün can't shoot or defend. And yes, KD is on the Rockets. For those of you that are not caught up with the NBA, KD is on the Rockets. Can I say? I think I can say this word because it's in the context of what he said. I guess so. Again, this is quoting allegedly KD from. He says Jabari Smith is retarded. That's a quote. Steve Kerr hates black people ever since Michael Jordan punched him in the mouth. Again, unsubstantiated. We don't know what this is. We don't know who this is. This is just kind of breaking down what it is. Devin Booker and Frank Vogel are dictators. Stalin and Hitler, Mussolini and Kim Jong-un. The Suns are my team when we lose, and Devin Booker's team when we win. Speaking out his time with the Suns. Man, I miss Ben Simmons. At least he passed me the ball. Steve Kerr never drew up plays or suggested anything, but he won a bunch of titles. I miss James Harden. He has a good heart. Kind of delusional, but I get him. Chris Paul doesn't know shit. If you don't run the cutoff and pass the ball to Steph, the Warriors will cut you. Anybody know anything about Jokic's turnovers? Kyrie didn't compete with me, but that triple-double addict Russell Westbrook did. So what are the ones that really stuck out to you?
You know what? Look. For me, I just feel like Kevin Durant is a guy who, has some elements of trolling on social media.
Yeah.
So I can get why people might say that that's him. But also, like, when he wants to say something, usually he kind of says it.
Right.
Like, he kind of, walks it like he talks it, lays it all out on the line. He made some, comments before the All-Star game about, some of the players on the world team and how they compete in All-Star games. So
by name, too.
Yep. So if Kevin Durant doesn't put his name on it, I'm not gonna sign off on it. I'm gonna just say that, they're reaching.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm a KD fan.
I mean,
I'm a KD fan.
You're a KD guy.
Yeah.
For me, it's more so something of like, you see him always on the phone, right? Like he's walking through the locker room, he's on the phone. There's videos of him going on the court, warm-ups on the phone. And at some point, and I'm just speaking for myself, right? You can speak for yourself when I'm done. You got the money. You got the fame. You got the notoriety. You got the titles. You got everything that you could ever want. And yet you're still not happy and you're arguing with people on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, him arguing doesn't mean he's unhappy.
Sure.
It's just he's bidding. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have kids, right? He's got extra time. He is from the generation where they play video games. They talk trash. He grew up in the social media era. So it's just his rhythm. Guess what? If you're a fan and you're on the court and you say something to KD, guess what he'll do? He'll go right back at you.
Yeah, say something.
Right? So he got time, whether it's in person and it's physically, a debate or back and forth, or if he's a Twitter fingering it, he got time. I don't think it makes him unhappy. I just think it makes him,
as somebody who is on social media and understands the poison that is on social media, if you're there and you're arguing back with trolls and arguing back with,
I do sometimes.
I know.
Yeah, I will.
Does that make you happy?
It doesn't make me unhappy. Yeah, no, it doesn't make me unhappy or happy. Sometimes you like to just tell people and just like shut them up. And then sometimes you have to ignore them, because some people are on there just to troll. Right. So you got to be selective with it. But sometimes I got time. If somebody go too far, I'll go back and forth with you.
I also do. And I think you and I are both in interesting situations where we have notoriety. People know us. People have opinions about us that we don't know, that we've never met before, that have never met us, that only see the person that we display, right? Who we are on camera is not the same people we are off camera, right? Like me and you have conversations that are not televised or not on camera or not on audio, that people be like, oh man, like, wait a second, those guys are like real. Sometimes people see us from this side watching us and, oh, this guy's fake, or he's full of himself, or KD has X, Y, and Z.
What does he know?
What does he know?
Talking?
Like, he didn't do anything. Like, this guy didn't play. At least KD played in the NBA. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, all these different things that people have opinions about you. And we were never built to have everybody's thoughts about us. Like, we were built to have, all right, this guy's here, this guy's here. Oh, I got 6 guys here in my camp. That's who I'm supposed to be learning from and talking to and caring about their opinion. Not some guy that lives out in Kentucky who doesn't know, his ass from a hole in the ground, talking about me and my life and my personality or myself. Right. So when I felt happier leaving that in the social media atmosphere and not replying to those people. Because I had time. Right before I had my daughter, which takes up a lot of time, by the way. A lot of time taking up when you got a baby. I used to sit there and read the comments and read, oh, the Tony doesn't know anything. Oh, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll write back. And then I started finding myself like, I'm arguing with somebody who I don't care about their opinion.
Right.
Because I would never ask them for advice.
Yeah, it's tricky too, man, because a part of the algorithm and the engagement is comments and responses and likes and shares and things like that. So you do have to have like a healthy balance of being able to communicate with fans. What I try and do, like I've changed my tactic a little bit. I try to
you learn the game a little bit.
I try and uplift people, even if they make a negative comment or something like that. Hey, thanks for your comment, champ.
I've seen those.
You're full of wisdom. Blessings to you, right? Sarcastically sometimes. And then sometimes, you just ignore, like when things are like just off the wall, just off the chain.
Yeah.
You just really have to ignore them. Sometimes those people will get blocked.
They're mute.
Yeah.
Muted is a very healthy tool.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll get blocked if they get disrespectful or something like that. But it's just the time we live in.
Yeah. When you're at that level, it just feels like there's so much hate coming your way because there's just hate everywhere, especially online, like whether it's trolling, whether it's real, whatever. Like the great comments are few and far between because you always focus on the negative.
For sure.
Right. It's always, you could have 100 great comments. Hey, you killed the champ. Great job. Amazing this, amazing that, whatever. But then it's that one guy's like, yo, you suck. And you said this word wrong 38 minutes in and you don't know English, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, damn, I'm so focused on proving this one guy wrong that I just trampled over all the good comments on the way to this one bad comment. It's like, why is our brain wired that
You know what?
way?
It's the psychology of it, and, I encourage everybody to have like healthy boundaries with social media and, what you see in the mornings, a lot of times, before
what you let in first.
Before I, get into my routine, I'm gonna say my prayers and I'm gonna, put on maybe some Pastor Mike Jr. and get into my faith a little bit before I kind of dive 10 toes into
the real world.
into the quote unquote social media world. Because a lot of our business comes from that. A lot of our interactions now, a lot of our communication comes from social media as opposed to just face-to-face or on the telephone the way it used to be. So it's changed. You got to adjust with it. You got to adapt to it. But you can't let it wear you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a bad thing. I've seen, more negativity from social media than positive vibes.
Oh, of course, 100%.
So
100%. And that's why, again, I'm not making an assessment on Katie's happiness. I'm just speaking from my point of view and how I interact with it, where if I was doing it at that level, like I would not be happy with myself. Like always having to see what people are saying, like always commenting back. Like it's not easy because you're just living in hate.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Trust me. It's not easy.
I know you know. I know you know.
Yeah.
I know you know. Yeah, so going forward now in the last half of the season, what do you think the Heat are going to do? Did you see Giannis's comment from somebody that was videotaping him backstage?
No, I didn't.
Oh boy, okay. Let's see if we can merge this in. I'll send you the tweet, Sean, so you can put it in. He basically said, one guy's like, hey, Giannis, we're going to see you in Miami next year. And he looks back and says, on vacation. Which you don't want to read too much into, but I also didn't like the way that he said it, in the way that he kind of like snapped back and was like, yeah, vacation, buddy, and kept walking off. So let's see if we can add that in right here.
Giannis, we're going to see you in Miami this year? Next year? For vacation.
Your thoughts?
Look, it's another interaction with somebody who's got a camera, right? And man, these guys aren't robots, man. They get to, be snappy. They get to clap back. They get to say their piece. Like, they get to engage. And how you approach them usually is the kind of energy you're going to get back. Usually you don't see guys just snapping for no reason, right? You usually see them, like somebody says a slick comment or throws something out or does something that, kind of rubs them the wrong way. With Giannis and where he wants to go play at, like, I'm at the point now where I don't even give a damn. Like, dude, if you want to stay in Milwaukee, say you're going to stay in Milwaukee. If you want to get traded, say where you want to get traded to. Like, all this great area.
Say it.
All this great area and all this, like, like it never happened. I don't like it. I think that if he wants to take his career to another level, ultimately he wants to continue to win championships. He's got all the individual accolades, but he's only got one chip. So he wants to put himself in a position where he can go win a chip. And you're not going to do it necessarily in Milwaukee. I do like Cam Thomas as a pickup, but he's a guy.
I've seen the team. They're not good.
They're not a good team. And Giannis could pretty much be wasting away like his prime.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the back end of his prime when he's like smarter and the game is slowed down and he's still athletic enough to be impactful. Dude, if you want to leave Milwaukee, just say it this summer.
Please
say it with your chest out.
You'll save us a lot of time talking about it, going back and forth. Maybe he does. His agent said this, whatever. But going forward, it's like, all right, if the way that he answered that kind of let us read between the lines on how things are going to go, if that Giannis chip is off the table come summertime, Pat and the boys got to do something, right? And like you got to start looking around, saying, all right, the cupboards are a little bare.
We definitely have to improve our roster down here with the Heat. The guys embody the Heat culture, the way they play, the way they, bring their energy, their discipline, their focus, their professionalism. But
there's no star.
It's no talent.
There's no star.
I won't say talent. It's no superstar talent.
Yeah.
And you can't. You just can't win.
You can't win with that recipe.
Yeah.
You had Jimmy Butler. He was that guy that in the playoffs could get to that level, right? And he did that a couple of times, and you were able to ride the comet of Jimmy for a couple finals runs.
Yeah.
But you look across this roster and I'm like, I don't see that guy.
Yeah.
That guy is not on this team to compete even in a weak East. You don't have a guy like James Harden or Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley, right? I would say those three guys are probably better than any guy that the Heat have. Any arguments?
No arguments there.
I agree with that. Boston, you don't have a JB out there.
No.
You don't have a Jalen Brunson out there.
No.
You don't have a Cat out there.
No.
Like offensively, Cat runs circles around Bam. Defensively, obviously, Bam is one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, they got to get more talent, buddy.
But you got to get more talent. And it's like you look across the league and they just don't have that horse.
Yeah.
They don't have that thoroughbred that's going to go win you a championship, right?
They don't. And that's the reality of the situation. I think they got enough young talent that are like kind of going into their prime with good deals where you can package somebody up and bring a star in.
The question
that can
is
kind of fit. I know it's limited. Most teams, most superstars don't really want to get traded until they're disgruntled or until they're facing their legacy, or if a team doesn't want to pay them in those moments. But usually, it's like teams have been like retaining their talent.
Right.
Like they're incentivized to stay with that team because that team usually can pay more.
Yeah.
Right. So I just don't know if there'll be a lot of superstars available. I really don't this summer, unless those superstar guys say, hey, I want to get traded and I want to go here.
Right.
And if Giannis doesn't do that, then we shouldn't even be talking about him.
No, back to the drawing board and seeing how you can get somebody else down here. But when it comes to the Heat kind of forecasting their next 40 some odd games and maybe trying to get to the playoffs or something, it just feels like the Heat don't tank. We know that.
No.
They do not lose on purpose. That is not what they do. Their culture is too strong to allow that poison into their locker room and into their franchise. But the way that you get better is through the draft. And if you're constantly drafting 13, 14, 15, 16, you're not going to get one of those superstar, franchise-changing players.
Yeah.
And you kind of keep perpetrating this mediocrity of, all right, we're good enough, but we're not going to be great, right? And that's where I feel like they're stuck right now until they can get one of those pieces. So when you ask me, should they make the playoffs? And it's like, okay, sure, you make the playoffs. You play Detroit, or you play Cleveland, or you play New York, or you play Boston. Maybe eke out a fifth game, a sixth game, maybe. But like you're back to the drawing board with a middle pick in the first round, and you don't really have a direction.
Yeah.
And like that's the part that frustrates me as a Heat fan, because I look back and I'm like, man, they were always swinging for the fences. And if you look back at some of the drafts, and of course hindsight is 2020, because the same year you got Justice Winslow, you could have got Devin Booker, and the franchise would have been completely different.
Facts.
But again, like hindsight's 2020. If we all knew that, we would have all invested in certain stocks and we would have all been billionaires. Facts. And it doesn't matter. Facts. But I just have a struggle with the rest of these games and figuring out what the Heat are going to do, because I kind of have an idea of what it is. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be 500. Yep. They're going to make the play-in maybe, and then just perpetrate the same kind of story.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I just think that at some point, Pat Riley is going to do something bold. He's going to be strategic. He's going to strike when the iron is kind of hot, and I think this summer is, that time. This summer, Pat Riley will do something, and it might not be Giannis, but I think Pat is going to make a play for someone.
Got to.
Somebody wants to come and play on South Beach.
Got to. All right, KD's finals preview. Now that we're at the midway point, now you've got a lot of data in your mind of what teams are and who they are and what they look like. Give me your, because you said OKC at the beginning of the season. They rattled off 25 in a row after losing one of the first games or whatever. Yeah. And now with all this data, what do you think?
Wow.
I
think that OKC to me is still the favorite. They're the champion. They must be dethroned, right? They've had some guys in and out the lineup all year. They started out really hot and, kind of, had some injuries and things like that. But they still are the team to beat. But I'm going to go out on a limb. Okay. All right. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that in the finals this year, especially if they get Evan Mobley back, I'm going to say it's going to be Cleveland that comes out of the East.
I like that.
And I'm going to say that it's going to be the Spurs out of the West.
Wow. Yep. So changing your tune, so no OKC.
I am changing my tune. I think in a 7-game series, I believe...
The Spurs have their number.
Not only do they have their number, I'm going to keep it all the way 100. Spurs got more hoopers than OKC.
Wow.
Top to bottom. Their top 8 to 10 players, to me, are more talented than OKC's if you line them all up.
I like that. I like that take. I still think OKC is the best defensive team when healthy, even though the Spurs have the biggest defensive X factor with Wemby. So I think team defense versus individual defense will be a very interesting kind of chess game within the series. If we can get that Western Conference final, can you imagine the numbers on that Western Conference final?
That'll be lit. But man, I know that's a bold pick for me to readjust at this point in the season.
I like it.
But I think with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, if they get Evan Mobley back healthy with Allen and some of the pieces that they have around them,
that's a tough squad.
I think they have the scoring and the length to be able to make it out of the East.
James back into the finals,
and then he gonna get paid again.
Yeah.
That was a big reason why he wanted to leave the Clippers. They didn't want to extend him.
Right. Give him that
so
extra year.
He was like, okay, well, let me go to a smaller market. It's not like free agents are knocking down Cleveland's door. So I think that was a good move for him to make. Donovan is still in his prime. You got some young talent over there as well. It's not much to do there, so he can kind of lock in and focus and have an imprint on that city because every city that James Harden goes to, he's beloved.
Yeah.
The local economy loves him because he goes and he fraternizes with the businesses. He spends money. He's visible. He does a lot of work in the community. He does a lot of work at restaurants. Yep. He hangs out James Harden brings fans in to see you. I think Travis Scott was is that the rapper's name? Yep. Travis Scott was at one of his first games, and so he has that kind of impact and that influence that'll make Cleveland more desirable.
Yeah, as the cultural equity. Yeah, to draw people into.
He does. He's got a swag about himself. Yeah. He really does.
All right, I'm gonna stick with my pick that I said a couple of weeks ago. I think Denver's coming out of the West.
Okay.
I think with Joker getting back online
I ain't mad at that.
with everybody at full strength, I think him and Murray are a great two-man game. I think they've been able to get some shooters around with Timmy Hardaway Jr. With Peyton. Like there's a couple of guys there.
Peyton's gotten a lot better.
Peyton's gotten a lot better, and he's a guy that they can start leaning on a little bit more. Christian Brown, like all these guys have had that championship pedigree that I think will be worth it, especially if they can get one or two of the OKC or the Spurs kind of out of the way early, right? If maybe the West can kind of cannibalize each other, where maybe they don't have to face both of them, they only have to face one of them on the way up there. Like that would be really good for them to kind of save stuff in the tank. I think it's going to be Denver, and I think Detroit's coming out of the East.
I ain't mad at that. I like
Detroit, Denver. I think Detroit is just a tough ass team.
They are
hard nosed, and I think it's when they lost. I think it was in 6 last year to
the Knicks.
6 or 5. They took those playoff, lumps.
Yeah.
And that young team has kind of learned.
Yeah.
Cade has been unreal.
Yeah.
Like all-star, probably going to be first-team All-NBA when it's all said and done. He's just having that kind of year. I feel like it's going to be Detroit, Denver going into June.
I feel you, man. I like that. I think both of those teams are competitive. They're well coached. They're tough. They play together. They've gotten some experience now. So I'm not mad at that.
Either one of the finals that we gave would be a very fun finals.
Man. I think so.
Very fun.
I think so. We'll see.
We'll see, man. All right, we got the entire second half of the NBA about to kick off. Thursday night?
Yeah.
And we got a week off.
I think everybody bounces back. The guys who played in the All-Star game, they'll get to still have their vacation. I'm glad they give these guys a week.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it is not easy playing all those games.
No.
Like, I get tired of, people saying that NBA guys don't play hard. It's not like college ball. Dude, the amount of wear and tear, cutting and flying, time zones, it is not easy playing against the best athletes in the world every day like that. So there are times in the season that you have to kind of pace it out or you'll burn out.
Yeah.
Right. So I understand it, man. But man, salute to these guys, man. They're doing a great job of championing the game. And I'm still digging basketball.
So we got second half of the NBA, and then we got college. We got March Madness around the corner.
Yeah.
Speaking of college ball, that's going to be fun. The first couple days of March Madness are great watch on TV.
Yeah.
You got some wall-to-wall games.
Yeah.
You're watching everything. You're ingesting all this new information with all these new players. You're like, oh, that guy's kind of good. Oh, wait a second. We might see him in the league next year. Like that kind of stuff. I always like watching college hoops to try to get some info on the guys maybe coming up to the next level at some point.
Well, it's going to be a lot of freshmen taken in that top 15, but it's going to be a
good class.
A lot of freshmen.
Good class. All right, guys, we'll see you Thursday. Make sure to rate, subscribe, review, whatever it is that you get the crossover. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you. Give us 5 stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure wherever the button is around here, subscribe and continue to push out the likes on the algorithms so more people can watch that beautiful face of KD's as we continue to do stuff. 2.8 K followers. We're on the way up, baby.
Yeah, man, we're getting there,
Slowly
man.
but surely.
We're getting there, and we appreciate all the support, the comments, the likes, the subscribes, all that stuff. It all matters. We're passionate about it. We try and be consistent with it. We enjoy the fan engagement and the back and forth and talking hoop talk.
Yeah. All right, Thursday we'll be back. Peace.